You have is you have a by now you have your hand graph done. You've calculated the slopes for each bubble family. And so what we're going to do is you are just going to do a quick check on the slope. We want to see how close your slope is to the actual slope. Now you can do what I'm doing on a graphing calculator. You can do the same thing on Logger Pro. Instead, I'm going to show you how to use graphical analysis today. It's real simple. And to use graphical analysis, and let me adjust my screen slightly. To use graphical analysis, you are going to pop in and you will see a kind of a graph template on the front. You see in the corner, I can choose this to manual entry. I can choose built-in sensors. I can specify the source. We actually are going to be doing video analysis a little bit later in the year. So today, I want you to select manual entry. Rather than it being current, we're just going to do source at the bottom, and it will say manual entry. Now, in math class, you see x's and y's all the time. X simply refers to the variable that's across the x-axis, and y refers to the variable on the y-axis. In physics, we never use x's and y's. We always call it what it is. So we never leave x and y on a data table because, frankly, it's just generic. It doesn't make sense. We want to make it specific to the data that we have. So all you got to do is click on the top part. Now, if you click and hold, it will allow you to title it. And if you remember, the x-axis was our independent variable, and that was the time of travel. And you can just put that in. And the unit is seconds. And the first column is labeled for us. So again, click and hold, and then we'll name that position of bubble. And the unit for that is centimeters. So what we've done is we've set up our time, our data table exactly like it has. So I've got time 0, we are at position 0, time 1, and so on. What I want you to do right now is transfer all of your data in, and I'm just simply going to be typing in some generic data to be able to move forward, but you type in your own data. Do that now. You can stop the tape if you need to. If you need to catch up. Now, once you have all of your data entered for one of your bubble tubes, you're then going to go up to the squiggle line at the top and you're going to select one graph. And what you're going to see is you're going to see your data points exactly on it. If you need to adjust it, it's very easy. You simply take your fingers on each corner and you can pinch to make it smaller or larger. If I make it really small, you will see that there are 4 quadrants on our graph. Now, in physics, quadrant 1 is the most often quadrant we're going to be using, although we will use quadrant 4 as well. The reason we're never going to use quadrants 2 and 3 is because we never have negative time for this kind of graph. So I'm just going to adjust it so all you see is quadrant 1. Now once you adjust it where all you see is quadrant 1, you're then going to click and drag so that all of your data points are highlighted. Now I don't have very many data points here, you'll have a lot more, but if you look at the trend in your data, it's a very linear trend. That's why you did a line of best fit. So when you select your points and you just tap in the box, you're going to have several different options, and this is where math kind of comes in handy for us. Math comes in handy because I can look at it and I can say that, yeah, that's pretty much a linear relationship. I can look at my data and I can tell that it's linear, even though there may be a slight amount of scatter. It's not because the data, the actual bubble tube wouldn't have a linear relationship, it's because of your measurement. So when you click add, it will then identify your slope right in the middle of the screen. So you'll see that y equals mx plus b is the generic equation from math. We know the m represents the slope of the line. The slope of my line is 1. Now, we cannot forget the unit for slope, and that would be your rise unit over your run unit. So you want to make sure that you have that listed on there as well. Compare the numbers. Now, to try the other one, you can go back to the data table and just select that at the top. If you select data table, you can just re-enter the new set of data and get the slope of again. I've not played around with this app a lot. You may be able to add some additional columns. However, I would just stick with adding time and position of bubble. And Then compare your slopes, see how close you were while everybody else is finishing. So good job.